Okay, at 7:15 p.m. we'll call the Finance and Personnel Committee session. Item 1 will be roll call. Jim Olson.
Here.
Harvey Bertrand. And Jim Bialecki be present. 2, approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Jim Olson. Second by Harvey Bertrand. Discussion on that motion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 3, public input. Is there anyone wishing to address the Finance and Personnel Committee? Again, anyone wishing to address the Finance and Personnel Committee? Third and final call, anyone wishing to address the Finance and Personnel Committee? If not, we'll move on to Finance for Omni Center Financials 2016. Fred?
Okay, in your packet is the Omni Financials dated October 31st of 2016, which shows roughly a $22,857 deficit. For the month of November, since this meeting also ran the November stats, and that represents a $57,596 deficit. And as you know, should be starting to turn things around hopefully. And that's about all I have to report on the Omni Center.
Motion to approve the report. Second by Harvey Bertrand. Discussion on that motion. Hearing none, all of you the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 5, City General Fund Financials for 2016. Fred?
Okay, in your packet, the financials for the November. Want to just briefly go through a couple locations. In the revenues on page 1 of 15, under account number 100 dash with 5 zeros in the center, followed by a 436.90, which is about halfway down the revenues on the first page. The $17,209 represents what I call these little grants that the police department does, seatbelt grants and all those other forms of grants. So those are revenues brought in through overtime status for the patrol. On the second page, page 2 of 15, close to the top, we anticipated for parking violations 32,000, and we currently have taken in 37, so that's $5,610 to the good compared to budget. And then we go to the expenditure side, page 3 of 15. The attorney, if everything continues to fall the way it's been falling, will be approximately 20,000 short rather than what we've been saying in the past few months of 30. That said, I have nothing more there, and I think we go all the way back to the police department on page 8 of 15. You'll see under overtime special projects of $15,418, and you remember it may stated earlier that we had taken in around $17,000, so that is an offset from that location. However, because of the short staffing, 11,547 over budget, but there again, the wages regular will be more wages regular left there because of the fact that some of the positions were vacant at the time. No questions, I'll continue to move on. That's all I have.
Any questions of Fred? If not, I make a motion to approve the report. Second by Harvey Bertrand. Discussion on that motion. Hearing none, all of you the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 6, authorization to accept the $17,300 grant from the Cross Community Foundation for the Lemke Fund to be applied to the Phase 2 cemetery improvements. Move to approve. Second by Jim Olson. Discussion on that motion. Only a compliment to Jared for making an application for this grant. I mean, that's admirable.
Jared and Katie.
Jared and Katie will stand corrected. Any further discussion on the motion?
I do have a question. Is this, does this come up frequently, or, I mean, how does that work?
Well, you have to be project specific on it when they make the initial grant application. And they recall for this project here, the Phase 2 portion was for that archway. It was kind of an add-on to the Oliver improvements. So next year they might have something else, such as the irrigation system, that they might apply for that too a year from now.
Mr. Chair, and then just to expand on that is currently then we had taken in $2,582 for future cemetery enhancements, along with this one of 17.3 brings it to $19,882. And then also the cemetery has the fund for the arch of entry into the cemetery, where they had taken in $3,332, and Mr. Kennedy brought in another $921. So the archway is an additional $4,000. It's up to $4,253. So we have $19,882 for the future enhancements, which I think was related to the irrigation that we talked about at the capital projects on the Board of Public Works, and then you got the $4,253 balance for the arch, of which the funds that were donated from the Scott Bjorgi as well as from Tom Kennedy.
Yeah, well, they're going to be in good shape too, as I recall, Jared had mentioned the irrigation system.
Yeah.
It was probably over $10,000.
One more question, Fred. Are there any, let's say, state or national foundations that are associated with cemetery maintenance, or that can be forthcoming with grants? There just ain't any.
There's no federal money. If there wasn't, we agree.
Okay.
Thank you. If there's no further questions, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 7, authorization to approve the 2017 full service contract with Cooley Region Humane Society at a rate of $65,232. Move to approve. Second. Second by Jim Olson. Discussion.
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to add the final document itself, and you may recall through the budget process, the $65,232 is the cost for the full service that we have authorized through the budget process, and the document is going to be real clean because the document clearly spells out that we'll be paying $5,436 a month for the service, totaling to $65,232, and the attorneys will have that document for us to before the council, but it's going to be very clean because we won't be jumping, because it's clearly stated that they would do that for the service for those 12 months.
Any further questions? If not, all in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 8, review and consideration of nationwide retirement. This is under personnel. Review and consideration of Nationwide Retirement Solutions Roth contribution amended to the deferred compensation plan.
Yes, this amendment is basically to allow our employees to, instead of doing pre-tax deferrals for their retirement, to have a Roth IRA through the deferred comp. And currently, because we don't have this amendment signed, we can't have our employees participate. So I've sent it to the attorney. I haven't heard anything back, but my guess is it's going to be fine.
I make a motion to approve the request contingent upon review of the city attorney. Second by Harvard Bertrand. Discussion on that motion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 9, review and consideration of job descriptions. A, office assistant.
The office assistant position is the newly budgeted position for the Park and Rec Department, basically to assist in the front office when our other part-time staff member is absent, so that we have coverage. And so that job description just outlines the basic functions of what that position would do.
Move to approve. Second. Second by Jim Olson. Discussion on that motion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. B, part-time park maintenance. Rather than have you go through the whole spiel, this has been approved the budget.
Yes.
You're comfortable, everyone's comfortable with the job description?
Yeah, and this is to cover the Great River Landing items, so.
All right. With that said, I make a motion to approve. Second. Second by Jim Olson. Discussion on that motion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 10, review consideration of authorized to post and advertise. I'm going to make a motion to approve C, HRIT assistant, D, administrative secretary, E, office assistant, and G, actually all of them.
Okay.
C, D, E, F, and G.
Second.
Second by Jim Olson. And again, these are pre-authorized positions, you just get the ball rolling.
Yeah, we're working on some of the positions like the HR, IT assistant, administrative secretary. Obviously, they won't start until we can in the budget, which I believe was towards the end of January. The other positions, we're just trying to get a head start so that the actual part-time parks maintenance position was actually budgeted this year, and we weren't sure if the building was going to be completed. So we're hoping to have that done in December, so we'd have somebody on board in January.
And I need to skew our motion there. I was kind of heading off at number 12, but we'll get there. So with that said, is there any discussion on the motion?
Just one more thing. What we'd like to do with the lab technician is Glenn Miller is retiring, and we'd like to post this internally because I think there's some candidates internally that would be interested, and then we would post that position for a utility operator to fill that position. So that's what we're looking to do.
And I know there's 5 items there, but generally the timeline, does it take weeks, months, or, typically to hire these folks, or how does that work?
It just depends. Depends on how many candidates you get.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 11, review and consideration of police department towing policy. That's a carryover from last month. Any questions or concerns on that at all? I've read through all the stuff there too. I understand, Bob, you're saying all that too, but when I go back and read the action that was taken in 2012, I think that thing was passed off to the chief to make the determinations, not the council, and it leaves toy firm in question meets all parameters of that. Comments from the
I tend to agree with you.
I mean, I understand where you're following up and everything. So, is there any motion to change anything? If not, we'll move on. 12, review and consideration of options replacement of the building coordinator position. Dan? And I had a conversation with Dan this morning or two that at one point he had about 5 options to be considered all two, but I think he's came up with one.
Right. You should have had sitting at your area up there. I left the document that started with a green sheet. There's a little bit different color. Basically explained our situation. Our building coordinator resigned last Wednesday. We need to get something on the agenda, so worked with HR Director Hope Burchell. We got this item on the agenda. We, as a staff, have worked long and hard looking at different options, what we can do, especially with the way the Omni Center financials are analyzed monthly. But in the end, our decision is to fill that position again as the building coordinator, as the job description is written. We'd also like to increase the administrative assistant that's in the building that currently works 22 hours or limited to 1,200 hours. Move that position to 1534, and also move that wage grade from a wage grade 6 to a 7. This is all laid out in option 2 in the packets. It would be on the kind of a pink sheet, the second one from the back. With this, we did through the process look at single insurance for both of those positions. If we do that, we still should have a savings for what's budgeted in the 17 budget of $7,668. I also put in there, as the Omni Center financials are looked at, I did want to note, which would be the orange sheet in the back, the amount of money that has been removed out of the general fund budget and allocated to the Omni Center budget. As we look at the shortfalls that the building has, there is a number of general fund dollars that have been pulled out and